Well, anytime you fight these young guys, it's risky. They don't carry the name value. They don't carry the cachet. They're not the people that usually walk into the arena to see. Those guys are on prelims, they're in early pay-per-views. So anytime you fight those guys, sure, it gives the UFC an opportunity to build that next star, but it's the same thing like every single sport, in every single combat sport, professional wrestling, all that. When you are trying to build the next star, the next thing has to go through the present thing in order to take their place.
But in this fight too, man, I mean, this could be potential. I'm not sure how long Charles Oliveira wants to continue to keep fighting. I mean, he's in a good position now, but a loss to a guy like Arman Tsarukyan really puts him back. You know, he's gonna have to climb his way back in there. So because he lives by the sword, he also dies by it. That's also the same reason what makes Charles Oliveira.
We look at Charles Oliveira, he has had his shine, and they think now maybe those days are behind him. Maybe some people still speculate that there's a little bit of quit left in Charles Oliveira. He seems to prove us wrong all the time when you doubt against him. I don't know. This is just such a tremendous matchup. I think it can go either way, but I do think the younger guy, Arman, should be a little bit the favorite in this one.
Hopefully, I beat Charles Oliveira first round knockout and then like get Islam fight for the title, and can't wait to that moment. But first of all, I gotta think about this fight because it's so important fight for me. Coming up fight is a big fight for me, big opportunity, and then so I just believe myself and train hard and smart. So just young, hungry. I don't know how someone can beat me. It's impossible right now.
The power that Tsarukyan possesses is there. He's got it. And his movement, he's just got to avoid getting those dog fights in 3 and 4 punch exchanges. If he can land the big shot, the 1 and the 2, or the 2 and the 1, or 2 and the 3, whatever right after, I think he's got a chance to get him out of there. Rock him, jump on him, and finish him from there. He's got nasty ground and pound. And that we've seen with Charles. He gets hurt almost every single fight.
What motivates Arman is not money, it's not women, it's nothing. It's just to be the champion. Just to be the champion. He's obsessive with that, you know, and we want to make sure that we're gonna do everything for him to succeed on this fight and fight Islam whenever Islam is ready to fight him, you know. Now we don't have a title shot, yes, but we have a legend, you know, a guy that's, in my opinion, even more dangerous than Islam because he's dangerous everywhere. He's a good striker. He's an amazing jiu-jitsu guy. In my opinion, he's probably the best finisher in UFC history. We respect him a lot. We know that we're up for a tough task.
We need that. He gonna believe his jiu-jitsu and try to choke me or whatever. So just. But he has good back mount. He has good straight punch, you know, and he's very dangerous on the feet. So on the clinch, and you know, you feel like he almost died, but you know, in second round he go there and knock out people. So that's why I gotta focus 15 minutes and like. If I feel he's tired, I just gotta like be focused, you know, all fight because he's dangerous. Last second too, you know.
Arman Tsarukyan, the guy on the rise. Listen, this guy, as soon as he came into the UFC, his first fight in the UFC was against Islam Makhachev, and these guys grappled for 15 minutes. That's the type of level of grappling that he possesses. He's been in a bunch of tremendous wars. We have known since Arman came into the UFC. He's one of those guys. He's gonna be fighting for the belt one day. The day is now. Now he has that opportunity. Charles Oliveira doesn't get bigger in name and status and ranks. Opportunity arose right here. This is a tremendous matchup for both men.
Arman Tsarukyan. Man, I tell you what, guys, I had a chance to watch this dude live. Man, he had a fan base in Austin. What he was able to do to Beneil Dariush with that crazy knee. I actually did a little breakdown on that. The dude has been getting better, man. I know he's been with his coaches at ATT. and they've been doing a hell of a good job. I mean, this dude's 27 years young. I mean, he wants to climb that mountain. He's the guy as of right now who has given Islam Makhachev a run for his money.
This is a dangerous matchup for Charles Oliveira, and the reason why is because his crutch is to go to his guard. When he gets hurt, he'll fall back into his guard. Now, that was the problem when he fought Islam, because Islam said, no problem. Yeah. I'm better than you on the ground. That could be the same situation in a fight like this, where Arman Tsarukyan is not afraid to go to the ground with Charles Oliveira, making this a much more difficult fight than we expect it to be.
I think it's a bad matchup for Charles, even though I love him. You know, he's a good guy. He's a great human being, great fighter. But Islam's not going to be afraid. If Islam knocks him down, he's going to get in there and try to finish. Not going to let him recover and come up. I think that was one of the mistakes that people made with Charles, to let him recover. You know, if Arman gets the chance to knock him down or take him down, he's going to take advantage of it. He's not going to be afraid or stand back up. No way. He's going to go in there, be smart about it. Don't play jiu-jitsu with him. Play MMA with him. That's the difference that I think it needs to be done in this fight.
Michael Chandler did a lot of damage to Charles Oliveira from the top position when he fought him. And Arman Tsarukyan has got great base. He is a very strong fighter, and he has a ground and pound that he brings big power down. And big power absolutely adjusts what you can do as far as your submission game. Not saying that Charles can't catch him. Obviously he can. That would be ridiculous to say, oh, he can't catch him.
I mean, this guy will get on top of you, throw those heavy makers, throw those elbows, and is Charles Oliveira ready for all that? This guy's he's not gonna play the jiu-jitsu game. He's not, or he shouldn't. And if he does, he's in trouble. Because Charles Oliveira, there's one thing that he does have better than Arman Tsarukyan, and that's just his whole submission arsenal.
I think Arman has a strength and speed advantage, but experience is with Charles. So it just, how far in the fight goes and how the fight goes, there's a lot of components to it, but yeah, it's going to be a good fight. It's hard to say. I think early I would go with Arman, but if we go deeper into the fight, I would go with Charles. He seems to come alive as the fight goes. He's a great fighter too, great fighters seem to find holes as a fight gets longer, and I think he can pull that off. But at the same time, Arman can finish it early on, or he can ride him out, because he's got all the skills.
So I look at Tsarukyan. He is still very young. What is he, 27, 26, somewhere around there? He's a young man. Still so much bright future ahead of him. But there's still, I feel like, so much he needs to learn. Charles may be the guy to do it, but Charles, I feel, also could be tailor-made for him. The power, the shots that he's been able to take over his last, 4 or 5 fights. Charles been in some wars. Whereas Tsarukyan, outside of the Gamrot fight, he's been dominant. Been a dominant fighter. So how much has that weighed on Charles, and how much more confidence does Tsarukyan have to dominate someone like a former champion in Charles Oliveira?
But if there's one guy that's probably more experienced, it is Charles Oliveira. If there's one guy that's hungry, that's 27 years old, that has youth on top of him, it is Arman Tsarukyan. We're gonna have to find out, because UFC 300 is actually going to be on fire.
Great opportunity. These are the good old days. These are great stories I'm going to be able to tell. And yeah, I mean, all 4 of us, me, Oliveira, Tsarukyan, Max Holloway, we're all going to fight on the same night. There's going to be 2 contenders coming out that night, and I think Makhachev's looking to fight twice. So I think both guys that get a win are going to fight him this year. Who fights him first? I'll worry about that April 14th.
Gagey lost to Charles. If we go there and finish Charles, or even beating Charles, I think there's no way that they're gonna give a title shot to Gagey before Arman, But still, we have to think one step at a time. We're thinking of Charles Oliveira, April 13, UFC 300, to be the best Arman that you guys ever seen. Prepared, focused, and dangerous.